Dun 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 dun
Hello gorgeous and welcome to your February Decks and the City reading. I have pulled 3 cards for you that they're quite intense. So let's just get into it without any further ado. Our first card is this Mr. Big or Mr. Berger? And this card is about whether you should stay or go in a relationship. And incredibly, the card that I pulled was the Wheel of Fortune. Now, in this card, you see Carrie standing in the middle. There's Mr. Big in the top left. You've got Natasha in the top right. You've got Aiden down the bottom. And this is about when Carrie and Big have their affair. Natasha catches them. She falls down the stairs. She breaks her tooth. And this card really says that what you do has consequences and that the Wheel of Fortune is always spinning. And as much as you would love for me to say, yes, this is your man of your dreams, or no, this person is not worth spending your time on, this card is really telling you to use your intuition. It's saying, if this relationship feels like something that's gonna grow you, expand you, make your life better, then stick around. But if this is a relationship where you're feeling constricted, you're feeling small, you're feeling a lot of negativity, you're feeling criticized, you feel like you can't be yourself or that yourself isn't celebrated, then you gotta go. And this is such an intense card, and this was such an intense moment in the series where Carrie really did want to walk away from the affair without hurting anyone. She ended up hurting Natasha. She broke her tooth. She ended up hurting their relationship. They got divorced. And then you notice she couldn't keep the secret to herself. She ends up telling Aiden about the affair at Charlotte's wedding, and he breaks up with her. And it's the end. And so really this card is just about actions and consequences. And you know that if you stay in a relationship with someone who makes you feel like shit, who's exhausting, who minimizes you, and who you make excuses for, you know what the consequences of that are going to be. You know that being with someone like that is not going to lead you to your biggest, baddest, boldest, most badass self. It's going to lead you to being small and miserable and making excuses and rearranging your life to be with someone who is just so not worth it. So this card really says it's your choice to make, but make an intelligent one, because what you do will lead to something that's very meaningful. Our second card is our What's My Next Chapter card. And this is the Two of Pentacles. And in the artwork, you see Miranda, and she is trying to balance her life. She is trying to juggle being a mother, being a lawyer, being a partner in a law firm, trying to have relationships, trying to date, and trying to have orgasms in the living room while, you know, her baby's crying in the next room. And this card is really about finding balance and juggling these priorities. And it's a card of adapting to change. The Two of Pentacles really says that there is no perfect balance, and your life has shifted, and it's time for you to figure out how to make these things work together. You're not going to be able to say like, oh, a baby, that's not my problem anymore. No, your baby is now your problem. It's your problem forever. So you're always going to have to deal with that. And you're always going to have a career. So how do you make these things work together? So this is a card of figuring out how to make it all work. And you'll notice Miranda does figure out how to make it all work through time, as everybody does. But this might just be a time where you feel like maybe there's not enough time. Maybe you don't have enough help, resources. Maybe you are struggling. And so I think the other thing that this card is asking you to do is to ask for help. Maybe it's not all about doing it all by yourself. Maybe there are people that can help you. Maybe your friend who doesn't have babies and whose job during the day is to go return a vibrator and get a haircut. Maybe you could ask her to babysit your kid. Maybe there is a woman who lives in your building who has like the vibrating chair that you don't know about. Like there is so much more help available to you than maybe you're noticing. So as you're going through this time of juggling these commitments, juggling these priorities, making it all work and adapting to change, don't be afraid to say, hey, this is hard for me right now. Hey, I could really use your help. hey, how are you doing this? Because I'm struggling. And we all struggle at times, and it's very human to be able to acknowledge it. I actually watched an interview recently between two men, and one of them said that the way to make friends is not by offering help, it's by asking for help. And we often think that if we want to be friendly with people or we want close friendships, then we need to be helpful to them. And of course that's great, but really our bonds are built when other people can help us. When we are vulnerable enough and open enough to say, hey, I'm really struggling, or this is really hard, and we let people have a peek into our inner world. When everything's all shiny and perfect and you're just dancing along the surface, there's really nothing for people to connect to. So even though you may feel that like, fuck, I just don't have it all together right now and this is a major weakness, you may see it as weakness, but other people see it as an opportunity to connect with you and to know you better and to contribute to your life in a meaningful way. And that's what we all want to do. So that's a very deep message for the Two of Pentacles, but really that's what I feel is coming through. Don't feel like you have to do it all yourself. Ask for help, say when it's hard, and you'll be juggling beautifully before you know it. Your third card for February is the City card, and this is the Five of Swords. And this is the artwork from when Samantha sleeps with Charlotte's brother, Wesley and Leslie. And Charlotte tries to cheer her brother up by making him muffins, and he's really not interested. Nothing's working. He's gone to see a priest, he's gone to see a therapist, but nothing really turns his lights on like sleeping with Samantha. And Charlotte is very upset about it. She's like, is your vagina in the New York City guidebooks? Because it should be. And Samantha is very upset. Her feelings are deeply hurt. And actually what transpires over the course of this episode is Charlotte realizes that the very best thing Samantha could have done for her brother is to fuck him. And she does go over there eventually with a big basket of muffins. And Samantha says, if you'll excuse me, I have another tour coming through my vagina in 5 minutes, which is an amazing scene. But what this card is about, you're like, okay, great. Thanks for the recap. How does this apply to my life? This is about how to thrive in your current environment, and this card is about choosing your battles wisely. It is about releasing unnecessary conflict. It is about knowing when to pull your punches, and really it's about prioritizing peace. Sometimes we feel the need to meddle in every area of our life. We feel the need to push and grind and raise issues with people and always speak our mind and all of those things. And there are definitely times for that. But what this card is telling me is that maybe you just sit back for a little bit. Maybe you just let things unravel, let things happen, let your friend fuck your brother. You know, it might be the best thing that ever happened to him. And so this card also tells us that we always think that we know best. We always think we know what should happen and in what order and in what timing. And that's not necessarily true. Who died and made you God? That didn't happen. You actually are just as clueless as the rest of us. I mean, you're watching someone with pink hair pull cards on the internet. You clearly don't know what's going on. So this card is telling you, you don't know shit. So calm down, take a breath, stop fighting with people, and let your friend fuck your brother. I think that's really the main takeaway of this card. So that is what we've got for February. Let's do a little recap. The Wheel of Fortune is reminding you that your actions have consequences, and choose the things that are feeling good genuinely, and that when you use your foresight, you can see it's going to be positive for you. A reminder to balance what's going on and to ask for help, to look for resources, and remember you don't have to do it all yourself, and to stay away from conflict. Don't pick fights with people in the street. It's not worth it. Prioritize your peace and let your friend fuck your brother. That's it for now. I'll see you next month. Mwah. Bye.